All right. So, Francis, how have you been? Let me pull up my
I'm
question.
okay. I
You're
had to
okay,
get
guys.
headphones because it wasn't working. I
I'm
don't know
turning
what's
you
going
up
on.
a little loud, but it's okay. I'm gonna
Oh,
turn you down just a
sorry.
little.
Yeah, turn me down.
So, all right. How is it, guys? Can y'all hear? Winter's captain said, "Stop it." All right, all right, all right, cuz. All right, cuz. Francis is here, guys. So let me get to my questions. She showed up live to do it live. She was nervous.
Still
Um,
nervous. Still
Still
nervous.
nervous. Why are you nervous?
Because I'm at home and I'm afraid the baby's going to come in and
Okay, so
disrupt. So,
Frances is a mother, and if you guys don't know, Frances was the personal assistant for Jason David Frank for over a decade. Over a decade, guys. And if you don't know who Jason David Frank is, he was the Green Ranger. He was the Green Ranger, and I'm looking at some people showing you some ports. Say, you got this, Francis, because you know how I do my interviews. No questions are off limits, and we don't cut. Okay. So before you get into it, I want to remind you about,
You shouldn't be investigating too much.
you know that guy, right? Now, is he the
Love of my life.
Is he the love of your life?
not mine, no.
Is he the love of Tammie's life?
No.
Okay.
I think the love of Tammie's life was Jason, and that's about it.
All right. Okay. So, how was the response to your first interview from the fans?
It was mixed. I had a lot of support, a lot of people that were very supportive, and thank you for saying things. But then I had a lot of hate and bash. I had to like write stuff down, block. I probably blocked around 30 people, to be honest.
Okay.
But it was a mix. A lot of support.
A lot of support. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta rearrange some things. So I know a couple people said your first interview was scripted. How do you feel about that?
Not at all. I think that it wasn't scripted at all. It was just it's easier when I don't know that there's people like commenting as I speak. It's just it was more comfortable. This is a little more nerve wracking because I want to see I want to see the chat.
Chat. Do not read the chat. I promise you. Do not read the chat. We got trolls, and we got a super troll lurking in the shadows.
Always
to just trip you up. So, have you been following my content?
Of course, yes, I have. I even saw the XQC.
Oh, you've been.
I saw it all last night. I saw it. Yeah.
What did you think of the XQC?
It's actually really good. I mean, to be honest, I kind of never want to get married.
Oh,
no, but
okay. So she's watching XQC content, and now she's saying she does not want to get married. Shout out to everyone who's married. We really hope you stay together because you don't want to end up in divorce court like Mr. Cow and find out what your spouse really thinks of you or wants from you. So let's get into some of this, Jason David Frank. Is there anything new I uncovered that you didn't know?
There was a few new things. Just I think that it was more a confirmation of things. You know what I mean? Like with the Ambien and the effects of Ambien and alcohol that I didn't know prior to that.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't know about the impacts of Ambien, but since you brought it up, did you know he was on Ambien?
Yes, I did.
And how long was he on Ambien? You worked for him for 10 years.
I know he was on it before I even started working with him.
Okay, so now we know, guys, according to Francis, he was on it before she started working for him, which is wild because they only recommend short-term use for Ambien. So that's something I'm gonna probably have to look into. Wow, this is kind of throwing me off. Let me get back to my question because I did a little bit of prep for this, but not too much. What do you think about this whole self-transition contagion?
I definitely believe it. I definitely believe it. Not only with this case, but in general, a lot of people that I know that have self-transition, they either have a friend or a family member or something that did that as well. And it really is I actually learned more now that you said something, but it is very sad and scary because I don't want to lose anyone else. I don't want to lose anyone else.
Yeah, and I didn't show it yet, but I do have basically maybe we can go through it together before we further get into this JDF stuff. I do have some proof that let me remove this, that someone close to the family is thinking about self-transition or has thought about self-transitioning, and we just gonna show it. Let's go to the window. It is right here. We're gonna share it, and then we both can read it. Can you see it? Okay, so what does this say? I'll make it just a hair bigger if I can. All right. So this is Tammie Frank. She said, got to see this amazing movie. My husband, last movie with our daughter, our close friends. Amazing. All that good stuff. But this is a post of Jenna Frank, which is Jason David Frank's youngest child. She responds to some guy who I don't even know what he said, but we're going to focus on what she said. My dad tried to do this multiple times before. I've even saved him. From the times you would think everyone was thinking he was fine. He was battling things he never healed from. And current to this day, I've been with my friends or family and have had plans to take my life, but I would never know. But you would never know. So there's that self-transition contagion, guys. This is in real time. This happened in like the last 3 months. So shout out to Jenna. We pray that she doesn't. But what does she say? It is the toughness we have struggled. We have struggled to tell people how we were actually feeling. I know in my heart he didn't mean to do this. We would both flirt with the idea of self-transitioning, people get in dark places and make mistakes. We're all human. I think that's what I've been trying to show you guys, is that JDF is indeed human. Y'all need to understand this is her husband and my dad. Imagine how you would feel. Self-transition is a singular choice. So she's putting the onus on her father. Do you really think my mom would leave if he gave off that vibe? My dad was sneaky, but in all honesty, y'all need to chill. My mom has feelings too. So what do you think about her posting this about wanting to self-transition per se?
I mean, it's such a tough thing because Jenna lost her sister, lost her dad within a year. And it's hard. There are days people don't understand. I don't think they put themselves in our shoes and the family shoes. I'm not even me, you know what I mean? It's the family shoes. And it's a tough battle every day they have to go through, that we have to go through. There are days that I'm fine, and there are days that I don't even want to get out of the bed. So it's sad, and I definitely am scared for the family. I don't want, like I said earlier, I don't want to lose anyone else, and I don't want to lose Jenna or Tammie or Skye or anyone else.
Okay. I think we're all in agreement with that. We don't want any of the Franks to self-transition. Now, did he ever talk to you about Todd Carroll?
He did. He mentioned him, yes.
And what did he say about Todd?
I know that he said that they were best friends, Todd, Erik, and himself, and that Todd self-transitioned, and then I don't know if it was a few weeks later, Erik self-transitioned.
And how did Todd and was I spot on about how they did it? Did they both hang themselves?
Correct. That's what I was told by Jason.
Okay, you were told that by Jason that Todd and his brother hung themselves. So all the medical illness websites, like I said, the websites will try to cover for the family. Now, did you know about Casey Hobson?
Yes.
And were you working? Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Yes, I was working with him during that time.
So can you just walk us through what happened when Jason found out about Casey?
I know Jason was very hurt. It was, I think we were at a show when he found out, and he was devastated.
Okay. Did he leave the show? Did he stay at the show?
I think it was right at the last day of the show, actually.
Okay. All right. What about Justin? Hobson.
Justin was a year after, correct? I
think 2 years
or was
after.
before. Yeah, a
was
few years
2.
after. And it was either the same day or something like that. That's what I
It was the
recall.
same day.
And he was devastated. It was very hard. He broke down. You know, I believe that was also at a show. And I think he literally left the show straight to where, you know, to the funeral.
Okay. Now I asked you last time, did you ever see him drink? And you said no.
No.
But someone close to him explained to me that, you know, despite JDF saying he was sober for 10 years, that was not quite true. Did you ever suspect he was under the influence?
I did suspect he was under the influence of alcohol a few times. One that really sticks out to me was when we were in Vegas.
Okay.
I believe maybe it was 2017 or something like that. And there, you know, they put like two things. One was water, one was alcohol. Like the left was alcohol, and I think the right was water, or the right, it doesn't matter, but he was drinking from the one that had alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was like, you know, that has alcohol, he's like, no, it doesn't. I was like, okay, but I'm 100% it had alcohol in it.
Okay.
But to me, he did it by mistake because he didn't read what it was.
Oh, okay. I'll by mistake. So what was I gonna say? So we talked about the Ambien. You talked about the fact that he did drinking. That was at what, WizardCon, right?
Mm-hmm. With the World Las Vegas.
Wizard World. Okay. People on Twitch. We're not doing the X case today. Not tonight. We're doing the Green Ranger case. Okay, so we talked about the Ambien. Now, with you being his assistant, did he ever have the Ambien munchies while you were working for him?
Yes. So I mean, he was prescribed Ambien, so it was something that he was prescribed. He would take it, you know, in the night, and I remember there were countless times that he would tell me, go get me a Snickers or a kit. He actually loves Reese's peanut butter cups. Can you give me some, or Snickers or something like that? So then he would like, can you go get it for me? And I would get him like 2 or 3, and he would eat all of them. And then one time I believe we were in Sacramento, was the World Sacramento. And I went to this, I went with some friends to this place called Flames, and they had like those like really big like slices of cake. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, I'm going to eat this cake. I got back and he's like, oh, can you come to my room? And I came straight from the restaurant. And I had my huge piece of cake that I was very excited about. And he's like, oh, you know, he saw the cake and he started eating it, and he ate the whole thing.
Wow.
And I was like so excited for my cake, and he ate the whole thing. And then I remember, you know, the next day he's like, how was your cake? And I was like, I wouldn't know. He's like, what do you mean? He's like,
that's important. So he forgot that he ate the cake, which is actually a side effect of using Ambien.
Mm-hmm. He forgot he ate the cake. So he's like, how was your cake? Because I know you were so excited and you were talking about it all day. And I was like, I wouldn't know. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, because you ate it all. And he's like, I ate the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, you did.
Wow.
But he did buy me the cake afterwards. He felt bad.
Oh, so he ate the cake and then he bought the cake.
Yeah, because he felt bad because I didn't eat it.
Now, while you were working for him, did he ever try to self-transition that you were aware of?
Yes.
Okay, and you know, not to get too specific, like how was that? Like, did you obviously stopped him?
Yes. You know, it was actually in Dubai.
Okay.
So, you know, it was a tough time. He kind of, you know, when someone gets into that headspace, it's just so hard. I remember that something kind of snapped him out of it. Something that happened between us during that time, and you know, it was hard because he felt like that was the only way, unfortunately, and no one would know because we were at a show, and that same time we were also arguing, and like I told you in the last interview, we were having issues. So it was really hard for me, and for both of us, because it's hard to see a friend wanting to do that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go.
And it wasn't just that occasion. I just want it to be clear. There are a lot of times that it happened that a lot of us were involved. But it's he always snapped back, and he always it would happen, and then
So
he would.
let me try to paraphrase this. So he would have these thoughts. He may have tried an attempt, and then go in the morning and go to Comic-Con like nothing ever happened.
Correct.
Wow. I don't even know how anyone could do that. So we do have some questions from the audience that they wanted to ask you. And shout out to Winter's Captain. She's sending hugs to everyone. Someone said I would probably ask her about the relationship she and JDF had, and what's her opinion on what led to his death. So that's a question from Kenneth Joseph on the community tab.
Well, I mean, Jason and I were really close friends. We were, the good thing about Jason, business was business. We can always separate business and the emotional side of it. But he confided in me in a lot of things, and I want to clear that a lot of the hate that I got was like, everyone was like, why are you spreading his business now that he's gone? It's not spreading his business. I just want people to understand that he was human. He wasn't Tammie. He was human. He had issues. He had a lot of mental issues that were hard for him. And he was able to turn them off and go greet everyone and smile and have that energy and that charisma that, no one has. I think I will never meet someone that has so much charisma and so much, was able to bring so much happiness to people, even though they were really sad inside. And I'm sorry, the second part was about what I feel about.
Yeah.
I feel like people are blaming everything on that night, and it wasn't that night. There were various nights like that, and I think it was just unfortunately too much for him, and I never thought he would do it, but unfortunately he did.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's go to a lighter question. It's okay. Is there any possibility of JDF being in the 30th anniversary special? Which I think he already said no, but maybe you can.
No, he did. I know that they wanted him to, and there was a lot of things, but he was so focused on this movie, on Legend of the White Dragon, which he gave his heart and soul. Like, if you guys would see how amazing he is in this movie, how much heart and soul he brought to this movie. He wasn't able to go back to Tammie. He was focused, and he became Erik Reed. So it just didn't make sense for him to go back.
Okay. Did Jason ever try therapy, or was that something he didn't feel could help him?
He did have therapy.
Okay.
He did. I know he had a therapist. But it's also a lot pressure on him to go and, let's say, go somewhere and go, like, stay at that place and get therapy, let's say a rehab or I don't know what you call it when you go, like, a mental break. It was too much for him. He would say, what are the fans gonna think, or what are people gonna think? And it was just something that wasn't an option, but he did have therapy, yes.
So he was more concerned about his personal image to the fans than his mental health getting help.
He didn't want to see, make it seem to the fans that he was weak or that he couldn't handle things. He wanted to be that positive image, which he was to a lot of us. There's so many people that would come up to him, and even now after his passing, that come and write to me and say, Jason saved my life. Because of him, I didn't self-transition. Because of him, I got my life together. I got this degree. So it was a pressure for him. And I think that he didn't want to let people down. And to him, that would be letting people down.
Okay. Someone said, I would ask her if Tammie and JDF argued a lot, or were they pretty cool?
To be honest, that's another thing. I wasn't really close to Tammie at all. There was a time that we did speak to each other a lot. Like I would vent about, Jason's writing to me at 4:00 in the morning and about a contest, and I'm sleeping and stuff like that. And we would vent with each other. But then we had a falling out, unfortunately, maybe 2 years prior to his passing. So, but I didn't. Arguments, all relationships argue.
Okay.
That's normal.
Okay. All right, guys. We're getting a lot of questions. If you super chat your question, they definitely get read. I have some other questions that are already in the tuck. Could you ask her if she knows what exactly caused or triggered JDF's brother Erik to do what he did? Was he born into the world feeling that way, or did something happen to him personally right before? Just really curious. Thank you. That's from Shaw84.
I did not. I don't know. I never knew Erik. I just knew of Erik from Jason. I think it was shock to everyone. To be honest.
That's fair. What were some of JDF's favorite movies, TV shows, and music?
Well, he loved Eminem, Tupac. He liked to watch anything like gangster related. You know what I mean? Like, what movies we would watch. We hardly watch a lot of movies, to be honest, because we didn't have time. But he definitely listened to Tupac and Eminem, and I know he at the end he was watching a lot of like Netflix shows and stuff like that. But he was definitely into like gangster rap, gangster movies and stuff like that.
Okay, I think that's all the question. Let's see if we got some in here. Did he fully understand the side effects of taking Ambien?
I don't know if he did understand the side effects of taking Ambien. I know that definitely he had like a lot of the munchies. A lot of the times, he would have to go straight to bed, straight to the room, because it would affect, obviously it affects your mannerisms and stuff like that. But I don't know if he fully understood like what the effects. I didn't even know the full effects of like if you take alcohol with Ambien, or if you take Ambien when you're supposed to take Ambien when you're in your bed asleep. And I think a lot of people don't know that you're supposed to like literally lay in your bed, take their Ambien and it's supposed to help you sleep. You're not supposed to take it when you're up. You're not supposed to take it, outside. You're supposed to take it when you're in bed. And I think a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was like melatonin. You take it 20 minutes before sleep, but
no, you're literally supposed to be in your bed when you take it.
How is his dad? I haven't heard a thing in regards to how he's been taking all of this. Do you know about this? Can you speak on it?
I know that his dad, you got to think he lost his first son, lost his wife. Now he lost his second son, and he's, I know that he couldn't make it to the funeral because it was just too much for him. And I'm being honest, and it's probably going to sound really messed up. I really want to reach out to him, but my heart right now can't even. I don't want to like reach out because I know I'm going to break down, and I don't want to make things worse. So
okay,
but I know he's been taking it hard.
All right. Here's a personal question, maybe a little lighter. What do you think of my content since you've been following it?
Well, you know what I thought about in the beginning. I thought you were.
Let everyone know. Let everyone know, because she be ripping.
I thought you were a clout chaser. And
let me address the clout chasing, guys. If I was a clout chaser, I would stop covering Jason David Frank immediately. And you're like, well, why? because I get way more views when I cover Mr. Kyle and Sammy's divorce. But I made a promise that we're going to see this to the end. So I am going to keep my word and see this to the end. Blake is answering another good question. Oh, sorry, let's get back to. So what did you think of the content before we get to Blake's question?
I thought you were a cloud chaser. Now I really like it. To be honest, I'm learning a lot. I watch the XQC stuff. I don't only watch the Jason stuff. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I have to take a break.
Oh, I had to take a break.
The Jason stuff, because it's just, you know, me living it and then having you play it and say like, oh, this could have been because of this. It's really hard. And but the XQC stuff I really like. I think it's very, very light, and I love that people are like, they're really into this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
and now I'm like, everywhere I go, I'm just like, now everywhere I'm thinking like, I don't want to get married. Like,
oh, you know,
I'm gonna get a prenup and a post up, and I'm like, I don't.
My advice: the prenup and post.
And then every time I look at baking pans, I think of you now. So it's great.
Yeah, my baking pans are gone, but here's her mug. Here's her mug. I bought her. I ripped her name off it. I bought it for her. I put it in the garage for her to take it when she requested all her things, along with the lawnmower and the dining room table, and she left it and said there was trash. And I'm like, hey, do you still want the equity from the dining room table and the lawnmower? She said, she messaged me today, hey, I'll follow up with my lawyer. And I'm like, this is what the divorce looks like. But for Mr. Kyle, it is going to be crazy if he is deemed to be married. So shout out to all the juicers out there. Let's look. Erik Frank didn't self-delete. He died from a heart illness at age 29. Look, these people like this, where is he at? People like this who keep they don't want to accept anything other than a possibility. Hey, we played the video. Hey, Francis said it. Hey, Jacob said it. Hey, Skye said it. Hey, Tammie said it. Everyone in his family is saying that he self-transitioned. And we got people like Giselle P saying he didn't. He died of a heart illness. What was the heart illness? How about that?
And you know what? You know what's really sad, and I think that we're all going through it. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to say things, and what they say that it is. And that's not the case. You know, we knew him personally. His daughter, like, I know I've heard people saying, Skye, how could Skye know about the ambulance? She's his daughter. You know, whether they were seeing each other every day, it's different, but she knows. And just like, you know, Jenna, people are after Jenna, like, how would you not know? In fact, a lot of people are like, how would you not know that he wanted to self-delete? It's not that simple. You never know. There were times that he said he was down, and he, like I said, he will pull himself back out of it, or we will pull him. A lot of us have saved him a lot of times. But, you know, this time, I don't think anyone thought, none of us, you know, his last conversation with me is, I'm going to call the baby tomorrow. Yeah. So to me, how would I, you know, my train of thought was, well, he's going to call the baby's birthday. You know, when he didn't call, I was like, you know, I was disappointed. I was like, oh, maybe he forgot, you know what I mean? But that's weird, because he, you know, I was like, he voice texted me. Like, it wasn't like he wrote it. He like literally said, I'm going to call you tomorrow, the baby's birthday. And then it's kind of like, you know, I get a call that's, he's gone. So
for those that don't know, the Green Ranger self-transitioned on her son's first year of birth. But I got another question for you. Let's try to keep it a little light, guys. Did Jason pull any pranks on you? He had a great sense of humor. Now, before you say anything, right? I did get a message from someone who told me to tell you to.
Certain things have to be kept private.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did hear it.
So with that in mind, you know, just do.
And a lot of people do tell me that. There are a lot of people do tell me that. And they say, I read something. I know you told me not to read the comments. I read something like, oh, he wouldn't be happy if you divulge.
I told you.
Know, if you divulge his information, he's gone, unfortunately. We're all devastated, and we're all going through so much. Maybe this stream could help. If this stream could help one person not do it, or understand that he was going through things, and unfortunately that was his choice, but that they can make a different choice by seeing how affected we all are. That's more than enough for me.
I think that is great because that's the whole purpose of this. But you still didn't answer that goddamn question, Francis.
Well,
did he pull any pranks on you?
Yes, he did all the time.
What was
all
the
the
most
time?
memorable one?
Well, I think I sent you one that he was putting an iguana on me, which I'm terrified.
Did I have that one? I don't think I didn't upload it. I did
And
not.
one time, I had his bag, and I placed it down. He must have taken the bag, but I put it down, and then I was like, "Where's the bag?" And he literally spent 6 hours hiding the bag. We were near Comic-Con, so it's like thousands upon thousands of people. And I'm like, oh my God, I lost his bag. And I'm like, I'm stressing out. He's like, Francis, you better find the bag. And he had it the whole time.
Okay. All right. That's good. I don't think we have any more questions. Oh, here we go. We got a question. Has Henry's digging
You dig, bro. You like to dig.
changed your view on what happened to JDF?
It did. There's a lot of things that I didn't know, like Ambien and the alcohol mix. There's a lot of things that it, to be honest.
Okay.
We all feel guilty. We all feel like some sort of, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. And a lot of the things that you've said is kind of, it doesn't make it go away, but at least we know that there are so many other factors that we probably, that it wasn't us, wasn't our fault, or it wasn't that, like, some people, like the first thing that someone told me was like, you should have known, or you didn't help him, or his friends failed him. No, we all at some point helped him. Unfortunately, right. This time he didn't reach out to any of us.
Right.
To none of us.
All right, so let's go to Jimmy Woo, who been spamming in the chat, asked my question. He asked 2 questions. The toxicology report. I told you guys I requested the toxicology report. Maybe ask about the videos from the hotel have been released and why are they doing a full investigation into his death instead of just offed himself. They obviously see some issues with the case. As far as videos from the hotel, that would be the cops thing to do. And the hotel that he stayed at was not like some 5-star cameras everywhere, probably like hotel. Kid you not. I don't know why they're doing an investigation. It could just be stalling the freaking autopsy report, which I requested, and I requested their police report. I did all of that. I think we answered that question per se. You got to actually talk to the detective. I actually said the detective's name out loud. Why the case is still open, but nothing came from it. Let's go do Crimson Hawk. Did JDF take testosterone or TRT or HR? I don't even know what these things are.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't know.
All right, so thank you, Crimson Hawk. I know what testosterone is, but I don't know.
I don't know if he took any.
Okay.
Not in front of me.
Here we go. Here we go. A good one. Here we go. What did you think of Tony when he came on Henry's platform?
Okay.
Of course.
You guys need to understand that a lot of the people, we all want to protect Jason. We all want everyone to stop thinking about his last day and think of all his days, because he was an amazing man. And it hurts to say was, you know what I mean? It hurts to speak of him in past tense. But he did so much for so many people, myself included, that we want everyone to just think of the good things, right. And Tony was very passionate when he came on. I just feel like he was so passionate, kind of came out rough. But to be honest, we all love Jason, and I definitely think he loved Jason. He was very passionate.
Love
when he spoke.
Right. All right, so look, she got a little chuckle, and I know, right?
You dig, bro. You like to dig.
Look, I don't got nothing against Tony, man. In fact, I'm trying to get some merch. I got my graphics person working on some things, but they've been dragging their ass. I don't know if I'm gonna have to fire them, but how can I fire someone who's working for free? How can I do that? But shout out to my graphics person. We gonna try to get the shirts with the
dig, bro.
You like to dig, but also, guys, I think Francis has answered enough questions for the night. Would you agree, Francis? You're good?
I'm
Anything-
good. They're about to bring my son. So if anyone has anything else, I would answer.
all right. Please don't put your son on camera.
No, I won't. Okay,
don't put your son on camera. I gotta.
No. He's asleep. Thank God.
Let Francis go be a mom. We thank you, Francis. We appreciate you coming up in here into the Lion's Den.
And thank you, Henry. It is very nerve-wracking. You make it very well. You actually, I didn't read any of the comments, so I think that's what didn't make me think. But I think, to be honest, the only thing I want to say is that Jason loved his fans and loved his family, all of us. And we're all hurt because he's gone, and we all want to know why. Some people are rough in their search, and it doesn't matter how much proof you bring out, Henry, which you've done an amazing job, because you've really, like, you are one step ahead. You think one step ahead of everything. Some people, we won't ever change their mind. Even if you bring it out, like you bring video, they'll still probably be like, it was foul play or whatever. But thank you very much. I think for everything you're doing, I think a lot of people do see, what happened, and understand that he was, had mental problems, and we should all, I just feel like we should all get together and just celebrate his life and forget about that last day.
Well said, Francis. Well said. Let me give it up for you, and I appreciate you. But moving forward, I'm gonna need you to do one thing.
Certain things have to be kept private.
Okay, keep it private, girl.
Definitely. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that.
Okay.